Let me tell you about the love hormone, the connection hormone, the hormone secreted between parent and child, two spouses, teammates, and even owner and dog. Yeah, that last one is scientifically proven. And how this hormone, which also has a laundry list of benefits for our health and longevity, may have a new, smelly origin that could enhance its effects. So, plug those noses and let's go. Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftingbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and longevity and do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic way. Today, we are exploring the science behind one of the main behaviors which make us humans human. Our deep desire for social and emotional connections, and how our propensity for this experience may very well be modulated by non-human microorganisms living within us. By the trillions. I know, it sounds like the plot to the next box office busting sci-fi, but it isn't. It's actually happening. And you, the holder of this new knowledge, may now be able to hack your way to a healthier and more pleasant day because of it. The hormone we speak of is oxytocin. And as we alluded to before, this is the compound responsible for that flood of feel-goodiness when you are connecting with another being or animal. And potentially the underlying reason why the interaction is so comforting and special. I mean, go cuddle your dog and tell me you do not feel the heebity-jeebities. We both know you do. Now, although this fact alone is probably enough to put oxytocin in the Hormone Hall of Fame, it actually does quite a bit more, displaying a variety of beneficial effects when it is abundant, including promoting social bonding and trust, reducing stress and anxiety, improving cardiovascular function, enhancing wound healing, boosting cognitive function, and even reducing inflammation, thus earning a spot in our longevity toolbox of things to care about, making it something that we want to intentionally, through lifestyle, upregulate, which we'll talk about how to do at the end of this powwow. Because the data suggests that the health potential is very real. For example, it has been shown that oxytocin increases the production of nitric oxide, which is a compound that acts upon our blood vessel endothelial cells, relaxing and dilating them, not only improving blood flow, but also reducing stress, inducing a parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system state, the nervous system state that we want to be in for the majority of our day/life. Now, up until this point, it was observed and believed that oxytocin was only secreted from the hypothalamus, a key region of the brain which regulates the biochemical and physiological function of the entire body, managing its balance like an infinite team of Nobel laureate biochemists. However, just like so many other things in science, this may not be the full story. And wouldn't you know it, the tens of trillions of microorganisms that live within us, calling our intestines their home, may once again have something to do with it. A perfect time for this new, potentially smelly, data. A research team out of Baylor University sought to investigate the relationship between this feel-good, health-modulating hormone and the gut microbiome. And they did this because it had been previously observed that some gut bacteria need oxytocin in order to have a beneficial effect throughout the rest of the body. And one of the most prominent species of microbes with this dependency is Lactobacillus reuteri, which has been shown to play a role in modulating inflammation, promoting social behavior, and enhancing wound healing. I feel like we just heard that, but must be a funny coincidence. So researchers carried out a number of animal, model, and human experiments to tease out how Lactobacillus reuteri, oxytocin, and distant organs such as the brain interact to promote these beneficial effects. They did this first by reviewing single-cell RNA sequence datasets of the intestinal epithelium, which displays which genes are expressed in specific tissue. Then, by using fluorescent microscopy to directly illuminate oxytocin in human intestinal organoids and lab intestinal models. And finally, by looking at samples of human intestinal tissue, searching for any new insights from this ever-surprising region of the body. And I'm happy to report they weren't disappointed. Instead, pleasantly surprised to observe that oxytocin was secreted and released right there in the gut, and that it was mediated by the gut bacteria itself. Those microbes at it again, this time working in an indirect way, as this beneficial bacterium was observed to stimulate enteroendocrine cells in the intestines to release the gut hormone secretin, which in turn stimulated another intestinal cell type, the enterocyte, to release oxytocin, all without direct involvement from the brain. Pretty damn interesting, right? Now, whether the gut-derived oxytocin actually travels to other parts of the body and fulfills all the aforementioned benefits, or just has a local effect in the gut, is still an open question. But the possibilities are certainly on the table, making it worth exploring how we can both increase our levels of these beneficial gut microbes, along with things that we can do to just naturally boost oxytocin. Because you will be glad to hear, especially if your dog is now running away from you because you've been hugging them so much, there are other paths to this biochemical prosperity, starting with my personal favorite, being straight up, unapologetically kind, with no expectation of kindness in return. This doesn't mean spending your days fake flattering people, but instead incorporating more genuine kindness into the way you live your life. Smiling or saying hi to random people you pass by, holding a door or two, complimenting someone on something you truly find admirable, paying it forward on a coffee line to a complete stranger without them knowing, or donating your time and energy to a good cause. This list can go on, and we haven't even got to the best part. When you spread a little kindness, the oxytocin starts to flow, cultivating what I like to call one of the best win-win scenarios in the health and longevity game. First, you make someone's day, which is awesome. And second, you get healthier, because we must not forget all of the cellular benefits a little more oxytocin brings to the table. So ask yourself, have you been selfishly kind today? You never thought about it like that, have you? There are also other ways to naturally boost this hormone's production, including engaging in physical touch, things like hugging, cuddling, holding hands, or even paws. Then there's forming strong social bonds or spending quality time with friends, engaging in meaningful conversations. Next, we have the sleeper of a mindfulness or meditation practice, which can indirectly enhance oxytocin secretion by reducing stress and anxiety. And we simply cannot forget engaging in activities that actually bring us joy, which could be any hobby or activity that elicit positive emotions. And finally, there is the foundation of all foundations, and that's just living an overall healthy lifestyle, because it sets the biological stage for proper and efficient biochemical function. One of the major lifestyle modulators being what we eat, because as we've talked about many times, they eat what we eat. Who are they, you ask? The trillions of microbes living in our intestinal lining, of course, having their tentacles of wisdom in just about every single biological function that we have. Our microbiome and how we eat ends up being a key deciding factor in whether we cultivate a good, beneficial, healthy, diverse community of microbes or a disease and dysfunction promoting bunch. So placing a focus on real whole foods, organic, grass-fed, wild, pasture-raised when possible, will put your health-promoting microbes in the best position to flourish. And as we've discussed ad nauseum across all of the microbiome videos on this channel, some of the fan favorites of these beneficial gut bugs are fermented and dietary fiber-rich foods. Things like fruits, veggies, beans, and legumes. Fermented options such as yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, tempeh, kimchi, and miso. All of which, might I add, end up being good sources of Lactobacillus reuteri itself. Another strategy you could deploy is supplementing this healthy eating with a high-quality probiotic, a topic we have a full breakdown on, which I will link below. Seed, S-E-E-D, is a solid brand that I've used in the past. We also can't forget the microbe and oxytocin modulating powers that going outside and getting a little dirty in nature brings to the table, as it is one of the best microdiversity and mood-boosting combos on the market. Imagine if you exercised out there too. Just saying. All of this once again reiterates that you, yes, you, are in more control of your biochemical self and thus your mood, feel, and function than you think. It's all a game of putting your biological machinery in a position to operate efficiently. A game, which I'll add, never stops. But when you own your health through establishing bio-boosting habits, routines, and rituals, you can very much put feeling good on autopilot. And that is something that we all have the ability to achieve. So let's take a moment and kickstart this endeavor by cuddling our dogs. Who knew it could be this simple?